in a little bit as well. And then we'll be joined by Carrie Lee Brown, a student of Dunrabin Christian Academy, who passed her examinations and will be moving on to another school of town. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So, welcome to the show. We're starting with Nyla. Nyla, how are you? How has your holidays been? Holidays is winding down now, and it's getting to real crunch time. So, how has it been for you?
Amazing.
Yes.
It's like I've been waking up at 2 p.m. in the afternoon and being just relaxed and just getting ready for the next school year.
Okay, wow, 2 p.m. Not like us adults who have to get up early to go to work. All right, so you're ready for the next phase of life. All right,
Yes.
love that for you. And you were a student at the Porter Center for Knowledge. Tell us a little bit about your school and what you loved about being at Porter Center.
Well, what I loved about being at Porter Center for Knowledge was I like the people there. I love the tradition of the school, meaning
Yes.
like how they raise the children there and how they have the school system set up.
Okay. All right. So, how they raise the children, have the school system set up in such a way that you are really glad that you are a student there.
Yes.
All right. I love that. And big up to all the teachers and the staff at the Porter Center for Knowledge. All right. Let me just turn quickly now to Mrs. Wedderburn, a teacher for grade 6 and also for PEP. I know for the students, they would have been exposed to PEP from about grade 4,
Right.
totally different from my time, your time.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes when I hear people talk about PEP, especially parents, they feel as if that they themselves are the ones
Doing the exam.
sitting the exam.
Mhm.
What I want for you to do to walk our listeners and our viewers through, and welcome to our YouTubers. We're live on Nationwide channel on YouTube as well. So, what is that process like? Being in the classroom, prepping them from grade 4.
From grade 4. Well, I mean, it takes a lot of mental preparation, and
Yes.
you have to prepare the parents as well, as you said.
Yeah.
So in the days of GSAT and Common Entrance, you were working towards grade 6, where many students would have idled,
Yeah.
for much
Oh.
of, for some of their elementary, primary career, and
Yes.
then when you get to grade 6, it's crunch time, but now it has to begin earlier. So the summer off before they get to grade 4, some parents are giving them the talk, how they need to be serious and so on at the curriculum. It begins, exams begin in grade 4, so
Yes.
the students have to prepare earlier to be serious about getting a good, a favorable result at the end of grade 4, and then 5, and then 6.
And then 6. All right. So you mentioned a little bit about the curriculum. What's the curriculum like? I know they have like the ability tests.
Right.
What else? What else do they have to do?
Okay, so in grade 4, they do the standard subjects, the core subjects. They do math, language, social studies, science.
Okay.
But for the exam, the PEP exam, they do performance tasks in math and language only. So
Okay.
in about June, usually it's June, probably about the second week of June, thereabout, sometime in June, the grade 4 students do 2 days of PEP. One performance task in math, one in language, in addition to the literacy and numeracy test. The
Okay.
literacy and numeracy test do not add contribute towards their final PEP score, but the performance tasks do. Then in grade 5, they do 4 performance tasks in the core subjects that I listed earlier: math, language, social studies, science.
Yes.
So in grade 5, it's a little heavier, where they are doing 4 performance tasks instead of the 2.
Okay.
And then grade 6 takes the cake
Wow.
because they have 7 different exams. They have
Seven.
yes, they have the ability test. That's usually around about February. Then we have the math performance task exam, the language performance task exam.
Right.
That's around about March. And then in April, we top it off with the curriculum based tests,
Okay.
which are similar to your standard tests that you know. They're a little different in terms of the administration, but they are in math, language, social studies, and science.
And science.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that overview. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but we're going to take a break just now. And when we come back, we'll be hearing from Mrs. Tanika Wedderburn and Nyla Savory, and we will be joined by Curly Brown as well. This is the A-Team Radio Show. Soon come.
I hit you off the choke. If I see them, I hold your red and big tonight. You puke, we look and say, book, book, book. When if you pressure on your book, if you not no education, people treat you like a book. Turn you in a handyman.
You deserve a beautiful home. Join the expert Karen Booker, your design diva, this and every Saturday at 1 to 2 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM. Learn what's really behind the design. Access insights and hacks that'll have your home looking like it was snatched from a magazine cover. From cushions to curtains, choosing colors to carpets, Karen will teach you the secret of the pros. That's the Design Studio every Saturday at 1 p.m. here on Nationwide 90.
That we should be together.
The true beauty of music is that it connects people. It carries a message. It speaks to you. It changes you. And that's exactly what we do just for you every Sunday as we take you to Urban Paradise, 9:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Urban Paradise is our weekly musical journey that will serve up 110 glorious minutes of positive storytelling through music, mixed in with inspirational features to provoke thought and to heal the soul.
Like a dream come true, too. Just wanna be with you.
So join me, Diane Ashton Smith, this and every Sunday, 9:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. Urban Paradise, opening our hearts, connecting to others.
Me sing, book, book, book. When if you pressure on no book, you illiterate and foolish, you might on a cook. And you not gonna get no work, and your teeth like a puss. Send me granny with a purse.
Welcome back to the A-Team Radio Show right here on the best revolutionary station in Jamaica, and as I always say, across the world, Nationwide and 90 FM. This is the voice of Damon Scarlett sitting in this evening as we're carrying you through PEP transitions. It's almost time for the new high school year, and a number of our PEP students did really well in their examinations, and we want to say a shout out to them. And I also want to send a big shout out to Kayla Anderson, who will be going to the Iden High School. And Kayla is the proud daughter of one of our engineers right here at Nationwide 90 FM. And I have to big him up, because he holds on the fort whenever we have our show. So big up to Boogs, right? And all the best to your young daughter as she is going to start a new life at Iden. At this time, I also want to ask Nyla to tell us which school you're going to be going to.
Well, I'm going to be going to, I will be attending St. Andrew High School for Girls
Nice.
in September.
In September. All right. Have you been there yet for the tour or anything like that?
Well, it wasn't a tour, but I attended summer school for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, no, not really.
Okay, so you're still in excitement mode, and you're
Yes.
ready to explore and to see what's going to be like at St. Andrews High School for Girls. Okay, I have to be careful how I pronounce the names,
Right.
Mrs. Wedderburn, because I was about to say Andrews, but then I know they might attack me and say, no, you get it right, get it right,
Right.
Mr. Scarlett. It is St. Andrew High School for Girls, right over there at Cecilia Avenue. And I believe, Carolee, are you there with us now?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Carolee. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so Carolee, tell us which school you'll be going to on September morning.
I'll be attending Immaculate.
Oh wow! Congratulations. So we have a lot of bright sparks here, man. So we have Kayla, we mentioned earlier, going to Arden. We have Nyla, who's going to St. Andrews High School for Girls, and Curly will be going to the Immaculate Conception High School. All right, so Curly, let me start with you. Like, what was the preparation period like for you when it comes on to the PEP? Was it hard? How did you prepare mentally for that?
For me, PEP was hard. Not really hard, but the preparation was hard. It
Yes.
was time consuming and I had to make a lot of sacrifices for it, but I'm glad that I did that because I'm happy with the results. I also
Yes.
prepared mentally by just setting my mind to the goal that I wanted to attend Immaculate,
Right.
and I also just set my mind on positive things and not negative.
And that is so important. Thank you for that. That's a life nugget that you've just shared with us in Curly, in terms of setting our mindset and ensuring that we're thinking about positive things. And Nyla, was that the same for you? Did you find that at some point in time that you had to, get yourself together? Like, I have to get this.
Yes, most definitely. Um, I remember having to do extra classes on Saturday, and I remember waking up early and having to go on to class either
Mm-hmm.
online or in person. And honestly, it really is it's a hard and it's a hard journey, and you really have to be committed if you want to get the results
Right, be committed
of
if
your
you want
choice.
to get the result of your choice, and that is important because I know that with the students, Mrs. Wedderburn, they would have to um, select the school of their choice in
Right.
terms of where they'd like to go, and sometimes that can also be nerve wracking because I find that the students sometimes want to go to these specific schools, but
Right.
then the parents are saying, "No, I don't want you to go to that school."
Right.
What is that like as you are interacting in the classroom with them and with the parents also in terms of the selection process?
I think it's usually best when both parent and child,
Yes.
when they are both on the same page. But I find that usually the parents, if for example, because in Jamaica we have rankings for schools, and
Right.
if it is that the parents want a school that they believe is of a higher rank and so on, they normally choose the school, and then the child either works towards it or just kind of um, does his or her thing, right?
Yes.
I find though that when the parents and the child, when they are both on the same page, there's a little bit more synergy, right? So,
Yes.
they try to work, the children work towards the goal, and if the child wants the choice, if the child is, if the child wants the first choice, for example, the child works towards it. And of course, as
Mm-hmm.
teachers, we have to encourage children, because sometimes even if the child has the ability,
Right.
they're not always confident in that ability. So the pep talks, and pun intended,
Pepe.
pep talks have to be
Yes.
frequent. Just talking them through what it is to be goal oriented. And of course, we give them breaks as well. I know we'll probably get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's not just about choosing a school and getting to that school, but holistic development. How are you? How are you doing? It's
Yes.
not just a pep farm, as it were.
Things that will prepare them for life, especially
Right.
going into high school.
Right.
It's going to be a much wider atmosphere, world, environment for them, if we can put it that way. So, as you spoke about that in terms of the synergy, earlier on, I think Nala would have touched on the whole matter of time management. How important is it for students to manage their time at this age as well, and for the parents themselves to also to understand that they have to kind of set specific rules and guidelines to help them as they go along.
Right. I think learning goal orientation,
Yes.
being oriented towards a particular end is useful at any age. Learning how to work towards what you
Yes.
want, towards something that is positive, something that will uplift you. And so, the whole matter of time management is a part of that orientation, where you're thinking, I am managing my time because I want a particular result. And so it's very important that they learn, time management skills. It won't be perfect. All right, parents, if you're hearing me, it will not be perfect. I mean, you have those children who seem to have mastered time management, but many children need that extra support. And it is a support. I was thinking about it earlier that supporting your child is not simply shouting instructions. It is in guiding them to what it is that they are to become. So it's a guidance, it's leading. Let me help you with this management. Do you need me to help you set a timetable, etc.? So it's very important at any age, and it's important for them to learn now. Yes.
Right. I love how you put that into context for us. So parents, that's a little insight that you've received, not only from a tutor, a teacher, but a parent herself.
Absolutely.
Right, And so when you said absolutely a while ago, I know you're really serious about it, All right, let me just go to Carolee and Nyla. In terms of the time management, did you find yourself establishing a timetable for yourself, or was that provided for you? How did you navigate your studying times for PEP? Let me start with Nyla first, and then I go to Carolee.
So physically, I didn't have a timetable, but mentally I had a timetable, meaning that I had to remember what I had to get done for a certain club or anything.
Okay.
And I had to, especially the extra class gave homework, and I have to make sure that I have enough time to do the homework and make sure that it's good to hand in. Also, you have to make sure that you have to balance the relaxing and the work, because if you relax 90% of the time and do work 10% of the time, then you're going to find that you don't have enough time to finish the work.
Wow, hold on there a minute there, Nyla. She just blew a whole life bubble on me a while ago, It's like I'm just listening to books, and I was like, she said to me that, boy, I need to take a reflection out of her page and apply it to mine, because you said that there's no time for, you must relax, but you can't relax too much. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll continue.
So overall, you just have to make sure that you balance what you're doing and make sure that whatever you have to do, you get done.
All right, and that's really just taking control of, your space, and to know that you have to put in the work. As you said, that if you want to get to the school of your choice, then you have to put in that amount of work. Carolee, how about you?
For me, time management, I created a schedule for myself based on the time I get home from school. So I would create that, and I give myself certain time frames on the task that I need to finish. So for example, when I get home, I need to finish my homework between, for example, 3:30 to 4:30. So I give myself an hour to do that. So I just give myself based on the task that I need and some time frame.
Okay, and that's a good strategy to have. And what it does is that it also prepares you, as I said, for life, because when you get to high school, you're going to have more work that will be given to you, more homework. And what I liked what Nyla said was that when she goes to the extra classes also give homework. So you have your regular homework, right, Nyla, that you have to do, along with the homework from the extra classes. So it's more work. So to understand the time management and balancing that is really important. What I want to find out from you both, though, what are you looking forward to the most? I'm going to St. Andrews High and also Immaculate. So, Carolee, how about you? What are you looking forward to the most? What have you heard about Immaculate that is so exciting for you?
For me, from going to summer school at Immaculate, it has great opportunities in sport and education wise and clubs. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited, and what I'm looking most forward to at the school is, getting good grades, having great teachers that will help to motivate me, and preparing me for my exams, such as CXC, and I'm hoping to get all distinctions.
Wow, and speaking it into being, love that. All distinctions. Nyla?
Well, there's so many things I'm excited about. I've been asking my mother when is school starting
What?
since I came from summer school.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to just go to a new school, get new experiences, have new teachers, especially like the clubs. Well, I'm really a sports girl, so
Okay. Both sports, right?
swimming. I'm really excited for clubs such as swimming. There's choir. There's netball. There's many clubs there, and I'm really excited for that. And also, three girls in my class, my previous class,
Right.
are going to St. Andrew High School
Okay.
for Girls.
So that's good. So you guys are transitioning together.
Yes.
All right. I love what we're hearing. Jamaica, this is two of our young stalwarts. There are many others that are out there, and we just want to continue to support and to encourage them. We're going to be taking our next break, and when we come back, we'll be speaking a little bit more with Mrs. Wedderburn just to find out a little bit more of the learning styles in the classroom and some of the things that teachers really have to endure. It's not easy out there in appearance. It's a very tough space, but they're here to educate and to inspire. We soon come. This is the A-Team Radio Show.
Foolish, you might turn a cook, and you not gonna get no work, and your teeth like a puss. Send me granny with a purse, I eat you off a joke. If I see them, I hold your breath.
Guilty. Outperform, outlast. Guilty. With top performance. Guilty. Guilty. Jackama. Reliable. Full stop. Not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. The 2 to 3 years. Hilton. Available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61124. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
Pull up another party, yeah. I know what nobody.
Come join us outside with Pepita. Every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Boy, Yaffy.
We bring you the views, the news, and we'll be cruising all around Jamaica.
Hey, surprise them with a bang.
Where the hot spots, raindrops, sunshine, we'll be there. Don't diss it, don't miss it. Outside with Pepita.
Looking to rent a fully operational production studio? Then Nationwide 90 FM has got you covered. We have flexible options to meet your recording needs any day of the week. Monday to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays available upon request. Bookings must be made in advance. Call us today at 630-1210. Let us help you reach your production desires.
Me sing, bup, bup, bup. And if you pressure on no bup, you're illiterate and foolish, you might turn a cook, and you're not gonna get no work, and your teeth like a puss.
Welcome back to the A-Team Radio Show right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This is Damon Scarlett sitting in for Sir Dennis Brooks, and we are focusing on PEP transitions, and we want to say on behalf of all the parents out there from here at Nationwide 90 FM, we salute you for the efforts, parents and guardians, and the extended family members, those persons who have been rallying around the students in getting through what they consider to be a difficult task. We've been hearing from Nyla, and we've been hearing from Kerry, 2 young ladies who will be going to Immaculate Conception and also St. Andrew's High School for girls. We are familiar with those institutions, and we just want to say that as you are getting excited to take on this new experience, that go with the disciplines that you have been taught, not only from your family, but also from your previous school institution. So let's talk a little bit with our tutor this evening, Mrs. Tanika Wedderburn. Nyla Byrne, teaching PEP since 2018, and you also specialize in tutoring students from grades 4 to 6, as well as those persons with special needs and special education. But I know you also pursue or hold a master in education in terms of special ed. What I want to find out from you, why this area specifically?
I think I'm a general classroom teacher.
Right.
But I think I met a young lady who was brilliant.
Yes.
But she had a diagnosis. She had ADHD. And I said to myself, how do I reach a child like this?
Yeah.
And even before that, when I wanted to enter teaching, because I entered via a very non-traditional route. But then when I entered teaching, it was against the backdrop of how can I make a difference for persons who learn a little differently than others. And so while I saw special education at first as where you have intellectual disabilities, those more noticeable disabilities, I found that all of us have different ranges of special needs because I learn differently.
Right.
And I don't want to oversimplify it because, there are genuine difficulties for some. But there are students who definitely learn differently from others. And as a general educator, because I'm not simply, I don't only do special education. I teach students who have no challenges to speak of. But the training certainly has helped me to reach all my students, or as much as I can.
Right. Well, thanks for sharing that, and that's really interesting. And it goes to show that we cannot leave out anyone.
No.
And as sometimes when people talk about, if you look at even the spectrum and so on, that there are those among us in our society that needs this kind of special care and attention. And of course, it will require a person to have the passion also, because not everybody will be diligent enough to care for such students.
Right. But I think, if I may, Damien, that sometimes teachers and parents, because of the stigma attached to persons with special needs, they think that there is a great gulf between the child with special needs and the child who we consider neurotypical. That's a typically developing child. But what I have found is that special needs exist on a continuum. So there's a range. So the child may be mildly autistic, for example, or mildly have ADHD moderately.
Right.
And that child can learn in the general education classroom. And so the trend in education is now to educate students who have diagnoses in the general education setting, and it is not, oh my goodness, I can't handle this from a teaching perspective, but how can I use methods to reach everyone? Because the child who doesn't have a diagnosis but probably have a sugar rush, can benefit.
So not make it obvious then in the classroom.
Yes, but I'm saying, so even children who are not diagnosed with any special needs or any disability can benefit from the methods that we utilize.
Right, and quite rightly so. One of our YouTubers here, Marigold, is saying that you need to have the drive and the dedication, and you need to love children. And I can't say I disagree with you, there, Marigold, that to be in the classroom itself, whether you're doing special ed or just general, you need to just have a love for what you do and a passion to educate young minds.
Right.
That's where it really starts from. And Nyla and Curly, you'd have had some teachers carrying you out throughout your schools. Who are some of those teachers perhaps that you'd want to big up? You probably can't call everybody name, but just some persons who were really instrumental when you think about it, that they were just like beyond a teacher. They were like your mom away from your mom. I'm start with Nyla.
Definitely Auntie Tanika.
Okay.
Auntie Anna. She was also one of my grade 6 teachers. Auntie Pat, Auntie Alicia. Those are my grade 5 teachers. And Auntie Monique.
Okay, Auntie Monique. All right, so big shout out to those teachers. Curly, how about you?
I would want to tell special thanks to my grade 4 teacher. Her name is Mrs. Myers. She was really nice. It's really sad because she had to leave. She went to another state here in America to work. But I just love her because she is like a rock for me because she always motivates me to do well.
Yes.
I also want to say thank you to my grade 6 teacher, who was also my principal. Her name is Mrs. Karen Goldberg Emmanuel. She always believed in me. At times when I don't understand, she always says, "I know you'll get it." She's been a rock as well to me. So I want to take special thanks to those teachers.
All right, love that. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to my grade 6 teacher. That was such a long time ago. But education is, as they say, the passport or the gateway for the future.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I asked our guests this evening to do, listeners and viewers, is to tell us a little bit about who they would like to be in the future, their dream job or their dream career. No, I got some very interesting responses here, and we're going to talk about that before we go, because I want to get that in. I know for Nyla, so Nyla would like to be a therapist. You have many options here. I don't know how you're going to do all of them. Therapist, real estate professional, a businesswoman, and also an athlete. And what is also interesting is that you also have a business already, based on what I am told. I'm going to tell you about that. And then, of course, Carolee also would like to become a pediatrician. All right, so Carolee, talk to us a little bit about your dream job and your career. What inspired you to want to do this?
Okay, I want to become a pediatrician because I love babies. I actually do love babies. And I have
your
a
age?
niece. I have a 2-year-old niece and a 2-year-old cousin, and when they were younger, I always helped out to change their diapers, feed them. So it was a good experience, a good practice. And I also like to help people, so that's a real reason why.
I see the engineer look at me and say, well, they said it's a good practice and good experience. Interesting. So you love being around babies and you just drawn to them, and so you just feel as if that this is an area that you want to launch out into, right?
Yes.
All right, okay. Can't fight you for what your dream job or your dream career is, and we just want to wish you all the best there as you continue to excel into your academic studies, and that's really amazing. Nyla, you have many options here now, so talk to us about the options.
So, a therapist. I've been through many situations to understand how
Wait.
people work,
Yes.
and sometimes I find that sometimes I feel like I'm not enough, and so that I kind of use that as a motivation to help other people.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, also I want to be a real estate professional and a businesswoman, because ever since I was a little girl, I had a whole plan of what my life was going to be like. So I said that I was going to have like these luxury apartments that I could rent out and people could live in. And I said I would save one for my mom and my dad and my grandmas.
Save
and
one
my
for
sister.
me too, please. Yes.
And I feel like I understand how money works. So my dad told me the other day, you can't be spending more than you're earning.
All right, Nyla, you come with this life nugget, Hold on there. Listeners, are you listening to what she's saying? Go ahead. What did that tell you?
So he said you can't be spending more than you're earning.
Okay.
And, for example, he said if someone's earning $500 a month and they have to buy a bunch of stuff, if what they're buying costs $650, then they obviously can't buy it. Or $500. If you're buying it, then you can't have it. So if you get paid $500 a month and you're buying whatever you're buying is $500, you're not going to have enough money to live. So what I feel like what you would have to do is spend less than you're earning. So always save a $50 aside.
All right.
Always have some form of money set aside, so if you end up going downhill in money, then you'll have something to keep you on your feet.
I want you to hold a point, Nyla. Listeners, viewers, this is just so overwhelming. This is too much. We're going to have to take a break. When we come back, we'll much more on the A-Team Radio Show. Soon come.
Illiterate and foolish, you might on a cook. And you not gonna get no work, and your teeth like a puss. Send me granny with a purse, I eat you off a joke. If I see them, I hold you red and big tonight, you puke.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
It's the weekend and the youth are taking over the airwaves. Yes, we are the new voices and faces of the Talk Up You radio show. The voice of the Jamaican youth right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
After a busy week of work and school, come and wine with Jamaica's #1 youth radio show.
We're bringing you entertainment, fun facts, and staying true to youth development and advocacy.
Catch the action each and every Saturday as we roll out buzzy segments. What say you?
Youth for chat.
Life skills.
Global Connect. And Bust the Youth. That's the Talk Up Youth radio show. Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
Talk Up Youth, Miss Effie.
Talk Up Youth. Don't miss it.
Me sing.
Welcome back to the A-Team Radio Show. If you're just joining us, you'd have been missing a great conversation with two of our recent awarded PEP students who are moving on to high school. We're speaking with Carolee Brown. We're also speaking with Nyla Savory. And in studio with us, we are joined by Mrs. Tanika Wedderburn, who is a teacher and tutor, especially when it comes on to the PEP examinations. Just before the break, we were getting a life principle, a lesson and a scolding from Nyla as it relates to the use of money and saving and ensuring that you are making good plans with your money in terms of saving and looking at your expenses. And so you were finishing up your point just before the break. So go ahead.
Yes. So as I was saying, you shouldn't be spending more than you earn.
Okay.
And instead of spending more than you earn, you should still have, because you have to spend in life.
Yeah.
Spending anything. Time, money, anything.
Wow. There you go.
So you can always save something aside, so if you fall down, you can still be on your feet. Also, I was saying that as a business owner,
All
kind
right,
of,
let's talk about that. Yes.
I make bracelets. So, but they're not like regular bracelets. These are like good bracelets.
All right, marketing pitch. Yes.
So, I remember at Porter Center for Knowledge, we had a concert, and then after you had a show. I mean, you had an area where you could come and you could purchase your items from different stands. So I had a bracelet stand, and I made my bracelets and I sold them and I got my money and stuff. And I'm not trying to shame mommy, but mommy even had to borrow some money from me.
Wow. Wow, mommy, are you listening here? She's letting the secret out. Wow. How did that make you feel in the moment? Because you are now an entrepreneur then, right? You use your creativity and
it made me feel grown.
Make you feel grown.
Yeah.
That's really responsible. It's responsibility, and that's a life lesson that comes out of it. That at a young age, you are now able to navigate the space in terms of what you'd like to do, using your skills and your talents, and you're making that work for you. And that's something that we encourage young persons to do. Carolee, I wanted to ask you though, looking back, getting ready to go to Immaculate, is there any life lesson that you can say that you learned out of your experience at your school, and as you're seeking to transition, what kind of encouragement you will also give to other students who will be doing PEP?
For the people that are going to be doing PEP next year, what I would advise them to do is always study, always make time. I know it might be hard giving up some free time, but it's for the best if you want good results. So I would advise them to, take some time out. I also advise them to listen to teachers' advice on whatever, because sometimes you might feel that the teacher is wrong, but the teacher is right. And our teachers are always preparing us. What I realized was a life lesson. In PEP, it's easier than what the teachers give you in class. So our teachers are just prepping us for, PEP. Yeah.
Oh, them trickery.
Yes, they do.
Oh wow! But that's an interesting life lesson, because in terms of the preparation, sometimes it's also a matter about perception as well. And in terms of your friends, though, are they excited about starting a new school, meeting new friends, based on your interaction?
Yeah, they seem excited. I have 3 other friends that are coming with me, so I won't be alone. But I've met a lot of new friends from summer school, so it's going to be a really good experience for me.
Right, love that. And Mrs. Wedderburn, just earlier on, just listening to Carolee, listening to Nyla, they were touching on the importance of, value and sense of belonging. One of the things that Nyla mentioned earlier on, in the whole matter of being a therapist, is being able to motivate and to inspire. How important is it? Because, being in the classroom, you're not just given the knowledge, but you're seeing the different sides, the personalities, the things that they're faced with. How important is it for a child to have that sense of belonging, especially if they don't feel that at home, but when they come to school, they kind of embrace that, yes?
Right, that's vital.
Yeah.
Psychologists talk about how in order for people to be successful, there are certain needs that have to be met, and then you build on that to fulfill your potential. And so it's important that students do feel that sense of belonging.
Yes, that's true.
Experts tell us that one of the keys to classroom management, or one of the pillars that we have to build classroom management on, is the fact that an environment needs to be created where every child feels like he or she is valuable. And that aids learning, so it's not just about giving out knowledge, it's not just about completing the curriculum, both very important, but there is the emotional aspect that we have come to learn is very important, because that is what motivates the child to feel that I am worth it, and I can do, right? So I think
Yes.
they're together, so you have that sense of belonging, you feel like you are worth it, and then as teachers we stand in such an interesting position, especially as pep teachers, because we are helping to motivate the children, we are trying to teach them skills, and at the same time we can never forget that they are human beings. So
That's
sometimes
critical,
yes, we have to pause, and my students will tell you that we talk a lot about how we treat each other, because in grade 6, I would want them to have positive memories when they look back. They say, I was preparing for PEP, but I wasn't stressed out. When I was treated badly, my teacher stood up for me, and that, I believe, helps not just them to pass an exam, but to become wholesome human beings. I think that's vital, very important.
Very vital. Again, a little child shall lead the way. Let's looking at some of the comments there on YouTube, and I'm sure many of them are saddened by the fact that they have to leave and go. Excited for the new opportunities, but not to have the regular teachers around them. And life is about transitions, and what we're hearing this evening, listeners, viewers, is two of Jamaica's youngest. They are inspiring. Just based on the conversation that they're having, you sense that kind of maturity, and you see the development. And that is something that we want to see happening right across our nation. And, that sense of belonging. Parents, you have a responsibility to play a more active role in the life of your child. If you're a guardian, you can't just leave it up to the school institutions alone. You also have a part to play as well. So get involved in the process. You might not know the answers for everything, but just your presence being there speaks volume. One of the things before we go, Mrs. Wedderburn, is just how important is it to help the students to develop their critical thinking skills. So as they engage in the different tests, the performance tasks, the ability tests, and so on, how necessary is that for them?
It's vital because this is a trend in education that has come from the need of the societies that we live in. So problems are not what they were 10 years ago. So children now have to be equipped to think through a new problem using information that they would have gained from a textbook or from watching a video, etc. So it's not just recall, it's not just remembering information, but how do I use, for example, my 3 times table to help in construction? You need 3 sets of whatever it is, building material, and so critical thinking. So that's the thrust actually of the new exam. I'm still calling it new, even though it's a few years old. But the thrust is understanding that you use math, language, social studies, science to solve real world problems. And so critical thinking is important because then it teaches the student to think outside the box, because our society is no longer in a box. We are a global village. And so it's important that we are able to use knowledge to solve problems, and we solve those problems through critical thinking.
We solve those problems through critical thinking. My mind was just settling there. It's really necessary, and we're developing young minds, inspiring them, because when they get older, take on life, and when they think about the decisions that they have to make, it's these little principles that they are being exposed to from the classroom that will help them when they get out there to take on the real world. Listeners, we're almost out of time, but one of the things I wanted to find out from Carolee and Nyla, we're living in this beautiful country, Jamaica. What is one thing that you'd love to see happen in our nation? Let me start with Carolee.
One thing I would love to see happen is less crime. Crime is a reason why, a lot of killing happen, and a lot of people are scared, and a lot of people like to leave Jamaica and stuff because of the crime. This is also a reason why tourists don't also like to come here because of crime. But I would just love to see that happen.
All right, so we're gonna deal with that one. Thank you, Curly. Nyla.
Honestly, I'd love to see Jamaica become a republic.
Oh, whoa. I'm going to have to invite you back for a part 2 of that conversation. All right. And, well, thank you. We're out of time, really. I want to say thank you to Curly and Nala, and all the best to you as you head off to St. Andrew High School for Girls and also to Immaculate Conception High. I'm going to give Mrs. Wedderburn just about 10 seconds just to say something to the parents as a word of encouragement to them.
I think parents, if you have the best interest of your child at heart, you have begun the race in a very good position. I think indeed if you stay with your child, you impress upon them the value of education. If you learn yourself the value of education, then you can help your child to be the best. So read to your children early. Start when they're tiny. Start the reading, developing them a love for reading, curiosity, not just ABC 1, 2, 3, but learning, loving learning, and that will help them all throughout life.
Thank you. Loving learning and being an active participant in the process. And if you're out there and you would like to get access to some additional support in terms of tutoring for PEP and just general classes, you can reach out to Mrs. Wedderburn. The number is 876-477-4169. That's 876-477-4169. I want to thank you all for being with us and joining us in studio today. Mrs. Tanika Wedderburn, Nyla Savory, and Curly Brown. And as we go, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here next week when we do it all over again. And remember to give back. Just want to say that if you're in the Pembrokeshire area tomorrow, you can check out the health fair where you can get access to some good care and some services there at the Arding Gardens Gospel Assembly. So take care until next week, Friday.
Me look and me sing and say, you now go to school, go on the bench and no chair. School lads just wave on no hands in the air.
Pull up another party, yeah. I know watching nobody.
Come join us outside with Pepita.